Wolves, the animal people feared the most. There was a hunter. This hunter was the best hunter in town. He killed 180 wolves in his lifetime. By day, he hunted, but night was a different story. He would go to bars, get drunk, get into fights, several leading to a 6-foot hole being dug. One night after the bar, the man went into the forest, a full moon lighting up his path. He stumbled into a witch. She knew all of the horrible things the man had done, so she cursed him to be a slave to the moon. Every full moon from that day forward, he would turn into the creature he feared the most, a wolf. Vampires. Blood-sucking leeches with no soul. There was a French tourist who loved traveling. This was his first ever time in Romania. A lady with one eye came up to him and gave him a bottle with some red liquid in it. Later that night, he drank it. Something came over him, making him drink it until it was all gone. Maybe it was the sleep deprivation, maybe it was the lack of food on his travels. No matter what it was, he wanted more. Mad with power, he went out into the Romanian streets at night, yelling for the one-eyed lady. A homeless man asked him to be quiet. In rage, the tourist beat the man until his face was red. He saw the blood on his fingers and licked it. That's when it hit him that the red liquid he just drank was human blood. After decades of ripping open people with his own teeth, his skin became so pale that if he even touched the sun, he would get instantly burned. And his teeth became long, sharp knives. But people were right. He had no soul. Ghosts are the haunting dead spirits that want vengeance. There was a homeless man beat to death in Romania. His spirit watched his killer get away with hundreds of murders. Eventually, he became angrier and angrier, so he went back to his old diseased body, and he woke up. Zombies are dead, walking creatures that thrive off eating anything that breathes. A ghost went back to a body. This has never been done before, but he didn't come back as a normal man. He couldn't feel pain, his wounds wouldn't heal, and he was constantly rotting. With his blurry vision, he went to his killer's house and ate him alive. Cold, lonely, broken were all words to describe the Wendigo. An Alaskan couple spent their whole life together, but eventually the woman got sick of the man, so she left him in the icy cold forest. His body was freezing. He couldn't feel anything but his icy heart, which she broke. He killed an elk and used its fur and antlers as protection. Infused with anger, anyone who came to the forest, he left in a deep, dark, icy hole. Magic. Potions, witches. Sounds like something from a fairy tale, doesn't it? It was a fairy tale, until the scientists started mixing chemicals she wasn't supposed to. Fire after fire, explosion after explosion. The scientist became older and her skin started turning green. Her coworkers were worried but supportive until she started using the chemicals for bad. She would throw magic potions at her coworkers, melting their faces. So they closed the lab and locked her inside for the rest of her life. When the Egyptians built the pyramids, there were 1 or 2 or maybe 20 casualties. Closed off in their tombs, they didn't decay. A traveler broke into the pyramid and opened one of the tombs. The dead body, wrapped in cloth, opened his eyes. When people died, they became ghosts. But if a ghost was angry enough, it became red, grew horns, and it became a whole new species, a demon. Demons could hurt people, throw objects. They were so dangerous that they got locked away in the depths of hell. A scientist threw a harmful potion at her coworker, melting away his skin. He was nothing but bone, so he died. After the lab closed, the witch gave the man life again as a skeleton. In return, he had to give up the code to open the doors again, so he gave it to her. Life on the sea gets very lonely. A man and his wife, after months on sea, started getting absolutely sick of each other. So the captain threw his wife into the ocean. She drowned, and fish started pecking at her, leaving behind their DNA. Eels electrocuted her, bringing her back to life. She found her husband. It had been months since he saw her last. He was thankful, but she was furious. She told him to swim with her. He never came back up. People love clowns. They invite them to their birthday parties as entertainment. But this clown hated what he was. He went to a bar, got drunk, and ended up stabbing somebody. He ran into the woods and saw this man-like wolf, so he went back to town. And when the town people found out what he did, they started throwing tar on him. Because of the tar, the suit stuck to his skin, so he was left a clown forever. People see scarecrows as just useless statues to scare away birds, but they see and hear everything. There was a wolf in the field biting the scarecrow. Eventually, the scarecrow had enough and killed it with a stick. He realized in the rush of his adrenaline that he had moved, so with this new power, he kept moving. A long time ago, before people colonized the Crime Corp Island, there was a lady who lived there. She lived in the village with all her people, but eventually she died. 3 people colonized the island and made it a dangerous place. Some villagers were given jobs. The jobless prayed to the woman, so she made a curse where whoever the new colonists get killed, their spirits get trapped on the east side of the island. Eventually, all the jobless died, but with this new curse, the lady and all the townspeople could hide out as a bear, and when the time was right, they could create a big beast to destroy anyone who came in their way.